Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we shine the light and talk with business leaders from all over the world to share their insight and expertise so we can all grow together. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk, and the co-founder of the Spotlight to Scale Accelerator, where we help businesses drive revenue by making sure that they are seen as the expert and go-to authority in their industry versus just another product or service. And today is super exciting because I've been chatting a little bit behind the scenes with my guest, and he's talking to us today from Slovenia, which is really, really exciting. And he's been sharing a little bit about his country. So welcome, Seb Muminovic with WebConvert. Welcome to the show, Seb.
Hey, Heidi. Thank you for having me here.
I'm very excited to chat with you today. Can you share, Seb, tell us a little bit about who you are, your company, WebConvert. You're a Shopify CRO agency. Can you tell us more about your company and also your role within it?
Yes, of course. By the way, my name is Asmir, but I go by a lot of people know me by the nickname of the Seb. It's from the teenage years, so you can call me Seb. Yeah, I'm a founder of this and the CEO of WeConvert, Shopify CRO agency. And my journey started back in 2016 when I needed a job, and a friend who worked as a media buying for the small e-commerce brand here in Slovenia introduced me into the Google Analytics. And basically he said, like, listen, we have a bunch of numbers here. You're good with numbers and we don't know what to do with them. So if you can help us figure out what's inside, I can get you a job. And that got me curious. So then I dig really about 3 weeks, really deep inside of everything I could find about Google Analytics, and it got me a job. Back then it's looking back now, it was more as a like junior data analyst rather than CRO. But then as the job progressed, I was there about like 1 year. It naturally moved towards CRO and neuroscience and psychology. So it's a CRO. 1 year after, I got a job as a real CRO specialist for the Australian agency called Inspire Brands Group. It was a remote job where really my knowledge and experience as a CRO strategist exploded, because these guys were working for the big, like 8 and 9 figure e-commerce brands who spent tens of thousands of dollars daily on the traffic. So they have a lot of traffic, and we can really afford to test everything there, because testing has a lot to do with the traffic and conversions. And if you don't have much, the tests take longer and are not as reliable. So these guys could test a lot, and I just used all of that time and my curiosity to fulfill my curiosity and test everything I wanted, And eventually down the line, I became head of CRO there. I think like after two years, and got my toes dipped into how it is to manage people, which is totally different beast. And a few years after, I just decided like it's time to start my own story. It starts to like I got a lot of learnings, like what is working with these big brands, these corporate brands, and I just would like to share it with the smaller startups and the e-commerce that just want to grow and scale faster. So I founded WeConvert. How we like to say, like, we are boutique CRO agency, because we don't want to work more than with 20 clients. We are around 30 people strong right now, and we want to give ourselves everything for the client. So if we have more, it just doesn't suffice. So we have a quite long wait list of people who we say internally, like, get sick of waiting, eventually leave. But yeah, that's who we are, and that's my story.
Thank you so much for sharing. And you mentioned, you talked about a little about the importance of conversion. So WebConvert specializes in conversion-focused digital strategies. So what are some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen businesses making when trying to increase their conversions?
Well, I would say it's rather it's them, and also like I see a trend in the younger CRO agencies, because nowadays, last time I was speaking with one of my mentors or previous mentors. I don't know if you ever had past mentors, like you have a mentor and he's your mentor for life. With Craig Sullivan, and he told me, like, right now we have around 150 CRO agencies in the space. Like when I was starting, it was like five of them max, you know.
Wow.
So the knowledge sort of diluted, you know, in a way, and everyone is just doing these tactical solutions, you know, rather than strategical. And tactical being like, if I say like strategical is like bigger picture.
Mm,
It's like answering questions of why and where, and then you have a tacticals what and actually how, you know, how are you going to solve something. And nowadays I just see like agencies focusing more and more on this how, you know, by mainly providing like scarcity and urgency rather than trying to understand how to give the best value to the visitors and convey what they have to say in the best possible way and find the best possible angle that the person on the other side who is trying to find the solution says like, yeah, this is for me.
mhm. Amazing. So
I
what are
understand
some,
it was a
oh,
little
go
bit
ahead.
mouthful, but sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I just said it was a little bit of mouthful, but
No, but you said it. Thank you. Thank you for, yeah, thank you for sharing. So, for you, you help with like Shopify, companies, businesses. So what are some of the key elements? And I know you work a lot in the back end of your company. So what are some of the key elements that of a high converting website or landing page? What should be there?
um, well, uh, starting at the beginning, like if you there's a saying, if what gets measured gets improved, right? So if a lot of stores nowadays have the really banged up analytics, like not right things are tracked, and even those that are tracked are not tracked correctly. So when you're looking at the data, you know, from the standpoint of someone who's analyzed it to make it better,
Mhm.
uh, when you look at it, you are basically looking at something like it's a hallucination. You're looking at the numbers and you don't know that they are fake, but they are fake, and then they lead you to the wrong path. So it's really important, and we see it like with the majority of our clients that analytics is not correct, the numbers are not right, and then when you try to optimize, it leads you to the wrong path, and it doesn't matter. So analytics is a really good one to try to track like user engagement on the page, you know, how people are using the elements on the website, how they're moving through your funnels, and this gives us opportunity to understand where are the bottlenecks,
Mm,
you know. So this is I would say like as a data analyst, these are like essential paths. From the usability perspective, you really have to have a website that loads fast, that is easy to use, and that explains to a visitor what they need to know before they purchase. You know, I know it's a little bit abstract, but also the question is a little bit abstract. I could pinpoint it better if you would give me a website, and I would
Oh
walk you.
yeah, I'm sure. And that's so if you're listening, for you, those of you listening, if you have a website or a store and you want, them to take a look at it, obviously we're gonna send you his way, Seb's way, because we're gonna share with you all of his contact information on how to connect with him. And I'm sure that obviously when you see it, you can then pinpoint it, customize that answer for that specific person. But I love that you shared about the numbers because numbers are important. You've got to know your numbers in your business, right? So for those of you with, a website and you're trying to track the engagement or, who's coming in, who's leaving, why are they leaving, how far down are they getting into the website before they're leaving? It's really important that you know those analytics. And so I'm really glad that you shared that, Seb, because I think that's a piece that a lot of people don't really pay attention to. And I think no matter what business you're in, you need to know, you need to go back and be tracking your metrics so you know how to be better, get better, and offer, be there to offer what your audience needs when they're coming to you. You mentioned competition. You had shared that, when you started, there was like maybe five agencies. Now there's 150. And I'm sure that your clients see the same thing in their space. Like everything has kind of exploded, especially since 2020. So with so much competition online, how can brands stand out and capture their ideal audience's attention?
Really good question. Well, I believe like if you want it or not, like you have to have a good references, you know. Nowadays, that's the only thing that pretty much work, that you show them that you work with the companies as theirs, as bigger as theirs. But for me, it's more importantly the knowledge that you know that you can deliver the results, you know, because nowadays I see a lot of these brands and everyone is doing their best. So I will not bash anyone, but like putting those really unreal numbers just to attract the clients. So like we are improved conversion rate, like our average client receives like 200% of improvement in conversion rates. And then you really know either it's a really small client, you know, who's just starting and then it's easy to get results, or it's a fake. So, you know, like I was I was always the preference of the saying like under promise and over deliver, you know. So maybe that the way to stand out is just to show that you work with the people and that you delivered real results, and probably be true to yourself.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be sharing the wins that you're getting for your clients for sure, or your customers. What are some of the can you share the most effective paid and organic marketing strategies for businesses to be looking at if they want to scale quickly?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. What are the most effective paid and organic marketing strategies that you've seen for businesses who really want to like scale quickly?
Yeah. Well, it's probably, if you're moving from paid channels to your pages, like what I see working the best right now is to have a lot of these Shopify stores have a product page template that is same for across all of the products.
Mm.
You know, so they have for example, 12, 20 products or 100 products, and the product page template is the same, like only the text and the images are different. So what I see nowadays working really fine, and like creating a landing pages that are for that product specifically, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
because that means that you have a more assets and more ways to showcase what is that product, how good it is, what problem is solving, who it is for, and then like address all of the concerns and worries of your audience on the page via either like copy or just putting like frequently asked questions below, so they have a lot of room to absorb that content that is specifically for their needs and product that they need.
Oh, thank you. How would you what role, okay, so you're all about the numbers, you're a numbers guy. So what role does data play in refining and optimizing marketing campaigns for maximum ROI?
Mhm. Well, what CRO is, it's making marketing campaigns better.
Mm.
You know, so the marketing is the part of a story which brings people to the store, you know. And then our job as a CRO specialist is to make sure that that traffic converts better, you know. So uh, how we make sure that we improve marketing, and that one other part is to taking notes like how people respond to changes. So for example, if you have like one ad creative that you're longer all the time, but we are changing something on our end, then it will reflect in the numbers,
Mhm.
you know, and we will have the knowledge like what we changed and how that change impact the performance of the website. You know, for example, like if we change the headline copy, that is taking a different angle onto something. You know, for example, back in the days, like one of my first successes was the the e-commerce store that was selling an football training equipment. So it's called like Pro Football Group. So Pro Football Group is the company that's selling football training equipment for kids. And while they were talking in their in their copy, they were always addressing like a player specifically, like become
Mhm.
like Ronaldo, become this better, directly the client. However, when we were doing the user testing and researches, we realized that the buyers were the parents.
Right, right.
It wasn't the kid of the 14-year-old kid who was the buyer, but buyer was the parent. So we tested to change an angle. And instead of talking to kids, we were talking to their parents through the copy and the ad. And the test was a huge winner because there was like 80 products and we tested on one and it was winner. We tested on five and then eventually we changed the entire copy in the website. And then we just informed the people running the ads what we discovered, and they also changed the copy on the approach on their end. And it was slightly less successful because also the kids have the mobile phones and looking, but it was still nevertheless much better than before. And
Yeah.
at the end of that campaign, which lasted for about 3-4 months, we had really huge success. Like I don't like to talk about the numbers, but because they're over exaggerated, but this was probably around like 500% boost.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's funny because I've had talked to clients in the past and if they're working with children, I'm like, remember your messaging. Who is actually buying your service or your product? It's not the kids. I know I have a son who's a gamer. He loves gaming. I'm not a gamer, but he seems to love it. So he'll always come to me, "Hey mom, can I spend $5?" Or "Hey mom, can I get this?" And I'm like, well, what is it? Right. So there's certain things that, yes, the kids are going to get targeted more than me because I'm not a gamer. I'm not online looking at a game going, "Hey, buddy, you want this?" So that's targeted more toward him. But if you're selling a product or service that the parents need to buy for the children, you need to know who your target audience is. So I love that you shared that learning lesson because I think it's really important for our listeners to hear. Um, so thank you. That was really, really good. So can we talk a little bit about AI? Because AI is not going away, right, Seb? It's only getting bigger. It's only, it's growing rapidly. It's constantly evolving. So how do you see AI and automation shaping the future of digital marketing and customer engagement?
Mm, yeah, my personal opinion that, as you said, like this thing is just going to grow better and faster, and we already see what's the improvement in the last 2 years. It's been huge. So I eventually, right now, the AI is a really big helper, and also in our agency, it helps a lot. And but I'm still yet to find the AI that can work really well without person verify and double check everything. you know. So I believe that will evolve, but in the end, probably like there will always have to be someone who will oversee that machine.
Hmm.
Because how I see it right now, the AI can do stuff really well and really fast, but I'm yet to see it, at least in my field, that it outperforms human without human giving him a lot of ideas and weeding out the best from worst. Because it's really good with the quality of stuff, but quantity is still like uh, how would I say, like uh, it's thin. Word is probably thin.
Yeah, we still need to check it, right? We still need to implement it. It's great with
Absolutely.
productivity and efficiency. Just like you said, it's really helpful. It's been really helpful in our business too. And I'm a little behind the AI curve at the moment compared to where, like, because when it first came out, I was a little slow to jump on the train. But now we're using it very much in our business, and it's definitely increased our productivity. It's increased our efficiency. Things that we would take us hours to research before or navigate now doesn't take nearly, it's a fraction of the time. So yeah, I agree with you that it's super, super helpful. And at the same time, people still need human interaction, right? They still need somebody to talk to if they have questions. Most people right now don't really want to talk to a robot, right? They want to talk to a human. So I think that's, like you said, oversee it, fact check it. right? Because it's not 100% accurate. So it's still learning a lot. So we still need to fact check it. I'd love to switch a little bit to marketing if you're okay, Seb. Can you share with us some of the things that are working for you as far as your visibility and your growth over the years that you've been in business, and how you've gone through a lot over your journey yourself and then starting your company. What are some things that have worked for you and that have helped you grow as far as like your marketing? How are your people finding you? What are you doing that you're able to get in front of them?
Well, we get majority of our clients through referrals and partnerships.
Okay.
And that is really good because it makes our job easier. We don't need to sell anything, but more importantly, it gives us pride, and a little bit of pressure, which is really good because if someone refers you and then you come, you have to do your own due diligence, but also you have to do diligence to the person who referred you, you
Yeah.
know? So it's a really good thing because it always puts, my partner said, like, it always puts this positive pressure on you,
Mm.
that we just need to deliver, every day be here and every test and everything. So referrals have been big with us, also partnerships, but I'm really happy to say that like our partnerships are always coming from our previous clients. Like I don't know how familiar are you with the name of David Fogarty. Uh,
David.
David Fogarty.
Okay.
He's an owner of the Udi, which is one of the biggest e-commerce stores, and he's
Wow.
something of the Shark Tank in Australia. Really great guy. Uh, I worked on multiple of his companies, and I don't work with him we don't work with him probably for the last 2 years, but he's still sending us people.
Amazing.
Recently he started his own uh, his own marketing. What's the name? Uh, Mastermind
Okay.
for the e-commerce to scale faster and better. And we just see an influx of people coming from there. And on the form on our when you on Calendly, it said like where are you coming from, and it was like David Fogarty, like and it was like, oh, I didn't even know that he's referring clients to us.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that means your product speaks for itself if when you're having that many referrals and those partnerships created, which is fantastic. What are some challenges that you've had in your growth and evolution, and how that you've seen with you and your partner as far as your growth, and how did you overcome them?
Well, primarily it's the execution because
Mm.
it ties into what I said. Like we are always under the gun, we are always under the pressure, and not everything is nice and roses.
Right.
There are challenges. Having 30 people under you and trying to organize all these things and connect the dots is very challenging, no matter how good you are. And it's a totally different beast than running a CRO for one e-commerce company as a freelancer. So our primary main problem comes from the execution and finding the right people who who are right fit for our agency and then have them to stay, you
Mm.
know. So primarily there because like we have I would like to say slightly different, but like whenever someone comes from the who worked for competition or someone that I know, like we have people coming and said like I've been working in the field of CRO for 2 years for X marketing agent. I was like, okay, awesome, great. This guy can help us a lot. He will be onboarded in no time. And then we start to onboard him, and it takes him like three months to get to a point where he can run the projects on his own. you know and it's not necessary that he will stay here and he will be, we invest a lot and then we say like, yeah, we just don't see you're the right fit, or he just says like, I don't see this environment as right fit for me, which is also fine, so we go separate ways.
Mm. So, Seb, if we could revisit the, and I love that you said pride earlier. You're like pride and positive pressure. That's a really big gold nugget for me coming out of this conversation. So, and I think that's great. So, And that's important when, especially when you're getting referrals, you get to feel pride and proud that you're getting them. That means you're doing a good job for somebody to refer you. So that's a big kudos and, feels
Thank
good.
you.
And then it also adds pressure, which I've never heard somebody share before. So I love that piece. It adds a positive pressure to you that you really want to do well for the person that referred you for the and also the new person coming in because they're putting their reputation on the line by referring you, which is phenomenal. If we could come back in a year and revisit this conversation, what would success look like for you and your company? We convert.
Really good question. I guess it's different for me and different for company, but maybe the same. Like I would like to have a little bit of off time, and my colleagues and people working for me probably would like to have a little off time off of me. You know, uh, yeah. As I said, like we do things differently, and as I shared with you in the beginning of the conversation, I personally am a real perfectionist,
Yeah.
and then being me takes an effort, and also bearing me takes an effort. So kudos to everyone in my team and my wife for bearing with me. Uh, so when you are like that, I still like to be on top of most of the things. You
Mm.
know, we have a bunch of projects, and I still like to go and revisit. Or when I see that someone from my team is slightly different apart, or using what I mentioned before as what I see as a tactic rather than the strategy, or sticking with the plan that we said. Like I like to go and quick fix that path, as I mentioned with analytics. When you go off stray, someone needs to and you know with a lot of things that I have on top of my head with running the things, and being it running an agency is totally different thing than doing the CRO, doing the work as it is. You need to talk to accountant, you need to talk to media buyer, you need to talk to people doing the branding, you need to talk with the designer, developer, all these people that are inside of your team. And then, like, on top of everything, when you have enough of everything, you have a one, what we call like beyond work, which is supposed to be like casual weekly meeting with the team, and you have to go there and play like you just woke up and you're fresh while you're totally down. So I guess what my partner said, like, we need a couple of managers inside of teams. So that would probably, it just got me realize, actually, like, we,
Yeah.
we need a couple of managers inside of our team to to streamline things that probably I shouldn't be doing in the first
Yeah.
place.
So you're going to get off this interview and you're going to run to your partner and go, "We need managers."
No, we need that for quite some time, but it's just like, as I as it is hard to find the managers have to come from our team,
Right.
and we are deciding. Otherwise this will not work. So,
Right. Right. Yes. And you did share, for those of you listening, go check out his bio. I don't really read the bios because they are in the show notes. You could check him out. But he has a wife and a 5-year-old son that he talks highly about inside of his bio. I loved that. And I would love to hear you in a year from now come back and say you've been spending a lot more time with them, because I know what it's like when you're running a business and then you're trying to also balance the family. It's not the easiest thing. So firsthand, I know that. So I hope that you get that in the next year.
thank you
Yes,
very much.
you're welcome. Can you share with us? This is my last question for you, Seb. What would be what's one piece of advice you could share to somebody if they're listening to you right now and they're like, I think I might want to dip my toe in and start a Shopify store, place. What advice can you give them to get started?
Ah, you're talking specifically about Shopify.
Or whatever, yeah, or business, or they want to
It,
launch
it,
a
it's
business.
it's a slightly different field from what we are doing.
Yeah.
We are optimizing stores, but starting a Shopify store is never as easy as one thing it is. Like I've had multiple Shopify stores, exited two of them, but it's also like it looks much simpler when you see, oh, these guys started to selling something from AliExpress that's
Mhm.
worth like $2 there, and now he's selling it for 15 and making like $100,000. but no one sees the operations behind it.
Right.
The marketing, the ad creatives, the website creation, the refunds, the Stripe, a lot of problems that are behind. So uh, if you would ask me, like, I'm probably not the right person to say like how it is, like to suggest how one should start with his own Shopify store. But if you need conversion rate optimization advices, you're always welcome to come to
Okay.
WeConvert.agency and schedule a call, and we will give you a hand.
Perfect. So that's where you want to go. And we're going to have we have all of his, of Asmir Seb's information on all of his links. His website, weconvert.agency, is also in the show notes. So please reach out to him. Great guy, nice guy, and he'll support you in your in getting those numbers and analytics and the conversion and all of that information for you. So definitely reach out, definitely connect with him. If you're watching us on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe so you get notified when our episodes come out, so you can learn from our experts like you're hearing from Seb today. This allows us to reach more people so he can help more people and support them in their business growth journey. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or any of the other ones, and you can leave a review, please do. Please give us 5 stars and also leave a note for Seb below, and or leave a review for us, because this also helps us share Seb and what he can do to support people in helping their business growth into the world as well. So we appreciate you for listening. Seb, is there anything else you'd like to share that I didn't ask you or didn't get to touch on today? Okay,
Thank
we're good. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Thank you for listening to Seb and I here today. And if you are wanting to grow your visibility, if you feel like you're doing all the things, you're on the social media, you're putting content out, or you're doing other things, but it's just not working for you and you feel like you're not getting the traction that you want, then go ahead and download our free Spotlight to Scale blueprint. You can go to spotlighttoscale.com/blueprint to grab it. It's free. Also, don't forget to go connect with Seb and his team. You can go to weconvert.agency to do that, as well as LinkedIn, and we're going to have those social media channels for you. Thank you again, Seb. I appreciate your time. So honored, especially it's the end of your day. So thank you for ending your day with me. Thank you for listening to us on the Business Growth Spotlight podcast, and we will see you on the next episode.